Hey everyone, Captain Amazing here, and today we're going to go over how to mod Savage Oppress. So if you like this content, please like and subscribe. So let's jump into it. Savage Oppress is an interesting character. He is an attacker that acts as a tank. So this gives him the ability to hit really hard. His overpower generally allows him to kill most characters that are under half health. And then the Omicron gives him so much offense stacking, health recovery, protection recovery, turn meter, and offense ramping. So it's a wonderful, wonderful Omicron. I highly advise every single player to unlock it, even if you're not a Grand Arena player, because it allows you a depth in your account. And this character can solo at lower levels, even sometimes higher levels in Kyber. But also, it is an instrumental part of that Treya team and a nice off-meta counter to take out JMLs on defense, even with strong sides, with using a very low gear Treya with her Omicron. So let's go over what his kit is exactly and why it's allowing him to punch up. So if you look at this brute, I'm not going to read exactly what it is because it's quite long, but essentially he's ramping all these stats and it gives him a force taunt. It's very important. And his offense. So as I said before, this Omicron is what's allowing him to punch up while in Grand Arena. So let's look at what mods I have on him. So I have him modded actually for pretty high speed. You don't need this much speed. He gets turn meter. The reason I have this much speed on him is I noticed that a lot of Savages time out on CLS. So again, you don't need, and also General Grievous, you don't need this much speed. I have the mod depth to just give him as much speed as I need to, but he does have turn meter gain abilities, but I personally like decent speed on Savage. So if you look at swgoh.gg, you would notice that he's mainly modded for speed, health, and health with all health. I believe in one defense set at least, because defense sets are really strong, and that gives a character the most survivability over a health set. Yes, he does have plus 50% health, so health sets are really strong on him, but I do like a mix of 2 health sets and 1 defense set overall. I did mod him for health because I use him on offense. So health circle, health cross, I have a crit damage triangle, and then a speed arrow. I didn't 6-dot the speed arrow because to me it's not that big of a deal. I don't need 32 speed on him. 30 is just fine. The interesting part of what I chose to do with him is this crit damage triangle. The reason I have a crit damage triangle on Savage Oppress is so that I avoid the timeouts on General Grievous and CLS. So when you are fighting General Grievous, you have to work through Magna Guard. If you don't have the damage to punch through Magna Guard while he's being healed by B1, you're going to time out. So before I modded him for this crit damage triangle, and he was modded for all health, I would be hitting Magna Guard, and then B1 would be healing him. Eventually, I would kill Magna Guard, but if it took too long and I had to kill Magna Guard and then whoever else was on the team and then work through all the stacks of B1, by the time I was solo with General Grievous was allowed to ramp his health so much that he was able to kill Savage. And then I would lose with just a General Grievous alive, which isn't the worst. I could still clean that up, but it was costing me banners, which could cost me wins. So I decided to put a crit damage triangle on Savage, and that solved my issues that I had where I wasn't able to work through B1 fast enough. And same thing with CLS. A lot of people I've seen time out on CLS and they're not able to kill CLS when it's just CLS and C3PO. Ideally, you want to kill Chewbacca, then 3PO, and then while Han's still alive, you leave Han, CLS, and 3PO alive, so that you get the extra turn meter from the crits that Han will do on Savage, and then you can work through CLS that way. And that's the most reliable way. If you end up killing Chewbacca, 3PO, then Han, and then you just have CLS with 3PO, then you run into the chance that you're going to time out, because CLS has a lot of turn meter mechanics himself, and then he's going to just heal up because his second special has a very powerful heal. So if you want to avoid that, go for CLS after before you kill Han, and then you kill Han, and then it's really easy from there. But I found all the way from Carbonite into Kyber 3, I'm still using a crit damage triangle because I'm using Savage as a solo character, or with Traya to punch up against JML. So the reason also for having this triangle is I use Savage mainly as my off meta counter for JML. I have a Gear 12 Traya, Savage, and a Relic 7 Darth Vader. Savage and Darth Vader are what punches through JML. Traya is great. She gives us her Omicron, a lot of survivability, some ramping mechanics in there, and it's on when you're against light side GLs, so it works really well. But having this crit damage triangle allows me to chunk out JML's protection very beautifully. Savage is there primarily as the tank, and that's why I have him modded for a good amount of health. JML's team isn't going to punch through Savage, at least not right away, and it's going to give you a lot of time to kill JML and his sides. So my advice for most people is to mod him for crit damage, and a crit damage triangle with a defense set, 2 health sets, and then health and speed if you're using him as a solo. If you're using him primarily on defense or against random teams, you can go all health. So all health, you can still put a speed arrow on him or a health arrow, but also I would say if you want to save him from health percent damages, because that's his greatest weakness on defense is health percent damages, you can mod him for defense and a defense sets with protection, and or a mix like I have of some health, some protection, or some health, some defense sets, and all protection primaries, and that's gonna mitigate the health percent damages, because if they go in with Seer, Rex, or Padme, then they have a pretty good chance of killing him with health percent damages, because he has so much health compared to his protection, and he doesn't have any mechanics like Crew does or Malik that prevents health percent damages. So if you're looking for overall survivability on defense, I would say protection is your friend. If you're taking him on offense for survivability, then health and some defense mixed. If you're using him to counter JML with Traya, then you're going to want that crit damage triangle, or if you're going to use him solo, you're going to want that crit damage triangle, and that's going to give him the extra boost to punch up against these teams. Thanks for watching to the end of this video if you stuck around. If you like this content, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. So take care.